I'm Kissiah Young, and this is On the Mat, a YouTube space where we sit and talk about the many layers of life, particularly grief and the impermanent nature of our being. Take a moment, sit with me. Welcome back to On the Mat, the space where we take a moment to pause and enter in, where I invite you to join me in giving yourself to yourself, carving out some time just for you, and we can be here together. So thank you. I'd like to ask you what it is that you're bringing to the mat when you join me. What are you bringing? What's something that has come up for you over the past week? Or maybe something that you're thinking about as you step into a new week. What are you bringing? What needs your time and attention? And of course, I ask myself that same question. What am I bringing to the mat? And what came for me is how I spend a lot of time contemplating grief, how I spend a lot of time thinking and talking about the nature of grief and what's behind that. Because often we go about our days and we're not necessarily consciously thinking about why we're thinking about something, or consciously thinking about or asking ourselves what's behind our desires, our interests, so on and so forth. So today I'm thinking about that for myself. Like, Kissiah, you spend a lot of time thinking about grief. And when I go within and access what I'm able to access about that, it's having spent a lot of time working in hospice and palliative care. It's really brought the nature of life and death to the forefront of my mind. And not in a morbid way, but in a way that really inspires me to live, inspires me to move through my days with a bit of awakeness, right? It's easy to be on autopilot. It's easy to lose ourselves in the distractions. It takes conscious effort to actually pay attention, to be alert, to be awake. And it also takes an ability and a desire and an ability to meet what shows up, because when we're awake and alert, we see what's happening. When we're asleep or distracted, not so much. It seems like life happens to us when we're asleep and distracted, but when we're awake and alert, we see the happenings of life. And knowing that I am only here for a spell, you are only here for a spell, what are the components of that? And grief is a huge one, and not from the place of death and dying, because it seems synonymous, right? Grief, death, dying. No, that too, and no. Grief is multifaceted. We may experience a level of grief on any given day, in any given moment, depending on what's happening. Is it a little loss, something you're no longer able to do? Eyesight changes, hearing changes, friendships change, work changes, children change. Is it a pondering of a past experience from childhood? Is it something that's gone missing that we long for? Grief is all over the place. It's not just about death and dying. And I think that is what has me to think on it often, and to access the places within myself where I carry grief. because it's important to know. It's important to explore the fullness of who we are so that we can understand ourselves better, to know the places where we're impacted, where we hurt. And grief doesn't have to be traumatic. It doesn't have to be that something is wrong. No. Just like joy and pain and sadness and happiness and grief and celebration, it's all there for us. It's all a part of this human experience. And when I give thought to myself and what areas within hold grief, yeah, it can bring me to a moment of just, whoo, the weight of it. Because grief is not superficial. Grief is not fly by night. Grief is not like, oh, just any old thing. No, grief is real and potent and deep and wide and weighty and has gravity. It's important. Grief is a part of life and it's important. So there are times when I give myself the room and space to look within and find where I grieve. August 31st is my father's birthday. My father died when I was 27, 28. I was starting my second year of graduate school. And, back then cell phones didn't have the money and all that. It was a different time. Different time. That was 2003. And I had a cell phone, but I had to let it go. Couldn't afford it. USC tuition and cell phones, they didn't go together. But anyway, so when I got home, I had all these messages on my phone, answering machine, where you had to call in, you get the stutter tone, doo, 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 you call in. And then there were 7 messages. One was like, Daddy died. And the whirlwind of that, the moment of, it's like you're frozen. So there are times now when I give thought to my father, every day actually, because I have an altar and I light the candle. I give thought to my father. I bring his energy back to the present. And at times I'll cry. And it's a wow kind of cry and sadness and grief. It's a beautiful love and a tenderness. It would be so nice to have you here. The conversations we would have. Because when you get older, you give thought to those things. When you're younger, you're just trying to get on with it. But when you get older, you can reflect. And so I give myself the room and space to reflect and contemplate my father, to be with the tears of that, to be with the grief. That's going to be lifelong, but it's not haunting, right? It's not devastating. It's not destroying me. That grief exists too, especially if we don't yet know or have reached a place of holding it in a way that carries us, sustains us. So today I'm bringing my father to the mat. And I'm bringing the essence of his life and energy and the grief that I hold because he's no longer. And we will never share in this tangible form again. All of my now and ongoing experiences, he will never know. And even though I do believe that his energy and essence is accessible, that's very different from being in life form, experiencing the happenings. And so I evoke his spirit, that the connection remains. And I'm aware that the grief shows up in those moments. Not all of them, but some of them. And I find the beauty of that grief, the beauty in that grief, the pain, and the joy. Because all is not lost even when all things change. All is not lost even when all things change. And inside of that is often grief. Change evokes grief. And so today, as you drop into yourself and you think on your life, think on the past week, the week coming up, ask yourself, how am I feeling? Where is my grief? Where am I holding it? What does it look like? How am I exploring it or denying it? How am I being with it? What do I want to give attention to? And then give it some attention. Right? Yeah. Thank you for pausing. It's important that we pause and take a moment for ourselves. So thank you for taking a moment with me.